Thanks for tuning in to Addiscope, where we talk about business, sports, and marketing. I'm Brian Cristiano, CEO of Bold Worldwide, and this is episode number 59 of Addiscope. I talk about content marketing, Twitter's algorithm, and setting clear standards in business.
Sports marketing expert Brian Cristiano.
Brian Cristiano.
Sports fans are arguably the most passionate people probably on the face of this planet.
Marketers and advertisers and brands always have to keep in mind, you have to play to the state of your audience.
If you're not passionate, do something else. We're only 1.5 weeks out from Christmas, about 2 weeks out from the new year. I can't believe how fast 2015 went, and I can't believe we're already 59 episodes into Addiscope. It's been a really hell of an awesome ride. Thank you all for paying attention and watching. It's been really inspiring to get a lot of good feedback from all of you. So I'm going to jump right back into my passion for the week, which is content/inbound marketing. Inbound is kind of the hot button term right now, but essentially all it is content marketing, right? Which has been around forever. But there's a lot of great tools like HubSpot, for example, which allows you to automate a large portion of this process and track users on your website and through social media, etc. And there's tons of other really great pieces of software out there that do it as well. But what is content marketing or inbound? If you don't exactly know what it is, it's creating tons of content or curating lots of content that is relevant to your outcome or goals in business. So let's say you're an auto body shop, right? Weird example, but fine. If you're an auto body shop, you want people to come to your website or find you through social media based on your expertise about auto body repair, for example. So you might want to create content and blog posts and social media posts around, the best way to fix a dent in your car, or the best way to replace the glass in your car, or what happens, or the best way to fix a crack in your rearview mirror, whatever it might be, right? It's all hypotheticals, but whatever that might be, you want to create content around these different topics that you want to rank for, that you want people to find you for. That happens to be in your expertise, right? And content marketing has been around forever, but now it's kind of really hot button where people are realizing it's a necessity to have constant new, fresh content out there. I'll be honest, Addiscope is part of content marketing for us at Bold, right? We're creating a show based around content, around business, sports, and marketing, where people see the show that then eventually drives them back to me or back to the company, and that then potentially generates leads or awareness for our business. And you can do this with video, you can do this with written content, you can do this with blog posts. There's a million different ways to do it, but I'm really passionate about it. This was the reason that we started the show, and it has helped us generate a lot of awareness for Bold, for myself, and a lot of the other things that we're doing around creating and generating content, right? I write a lot of different content for LinkedIn, Pulse, and some other places. Medium as well is a great place to do it. And it's really just about generating and creating a lot of content based around your expertise to drive people back to your company, your brand, and create that awareness and that connection. Now, your content has to be good, it has to be relevant, and it has to speak to your audience. But if you're not doing this now, you really need to be. You should have been doing it years ago, but it's something that even I feel like I got really late on the bandwagon as far as inbound marketing is concerned. But it's important. You'd better start now than instead of never starting at all. So I think that that's something that we're going to continue to hear the word inbound. We're going to continue to hear the word content marketing. And really all it is just positioning yourself and creating content that drives people back to you, that positions you as a thought leader in your space. All right, jumping forward. Product of the week. Twitter, actually. Why Twitter as a product? Okay, I'm not the biggest fan of Twitter. I mean, I think that me personally, I got into the game a bit late. I think if you got into it in 2007, 2008, you look at guys like Gary Vee, who absolutely killed it and built a massive following and continued to really do well on that platform. They started early, they got in and they knew what they were doing with it. But I think now, looking at companies that either haven't really engaged well, never really understood that platform, or just never really built a good audience around it initially, it's a lot harder now because Twitter is very noisy. You go to your Twitter feed and it's everybody and everything that you've ever followed, and it's in real time, and it's difficult to really pay attention. It's difficult to put something out there and get a lot of engagement back. You do get engagement, but it's very sparse, even even the people that have massive followings. You have to continually push your content out there or have conversations for people to really engage with you. But something that happened recently was Twitter is testing or messing around with an algorithm where they're essentially changing the order of your tweets. Really just exactly kind of like Facebook does, where they change around the order and the people and the brands that you're seeing in your newsfeed. Twitter's messing around with this. Now, it's not nearly as in-depth or nearly as complicated as Facebook's algorithm, but they're starting to try it. And I think that's a very good sign because Twitter has become noisy. This shows that Twitter recognizes that their platform has become noisy, and they recognize that they need to make a change and that they need to create more engagement with their audience and not show them as much stuff that's less relevant to them and show them more things that's more relevant to them. I'm going to be very interested to see where Twitter continues to push this. They obviously introduced Twitter polls not too long ago, which has created a lot more interaction with people and fans. So I think that there's more promise and more upside on Twitter in the future, assuming that they figure out what this algorithm or how they display content to their followers works, and it creates in a good way that people really do want to have more engagement because it's easier to use. So that's something I'm going to keep an eye on. Now, my performance for the week. It's setting clear standards as a business, right? Clear standards for, what do I mean by that? Clear standards for what do you expect when people show up to the office? What do you expect when you have a new hire? Is it clear to them? Is it not clear to them? Is it very vague? It needs to be very specific. It needs to be very direct as far as these are the standards. These are the key things that you need to do. And now it's not just about setting those standards. It's about clearly outlining them in actionable steps on how to achieve those standards. So, for example, here in Bold, we're working on our own standards. We're constantly trying to push that with everyone that's here. And so this is why it's on top of my mind. We recently, this morning, went over new standards, clear expectations for the new year for 2016. And part of that was clear communication between team members and clients, right? That sounds simple enough. But if you just tell somebody, hey, I expect you to have clear communication with team members and clients, it's not measurable. That's not a measurable thing. That's just an outcome, right? So you need to be able to say, how do you achieve clear communication, right? And that may be, like our standards are, all meetings should be 30 minutes or less, right? Obviously, there's going to be a few moments in time where we need to have a few longer meetings, but meetings are shorter than 30 minutes, right? That forces people to communicate more quickly. That forces people to have in their mind what their goals and outcomes are for the meetings. And that's another actionable step that we have as far as creating clear communication, which is before you have any meetings or calls, either internally or externally, you already know the outcome or the outcome that you want to get from this meeting or call. That way, you're setting a standard for the meeting. Great. Client XYZ, here's why we're having a call. Here's what we want to accomplish today. It's these three things. Great, it's clear. Now the communication line is faster. So there's many different things that we have. There's many different trackable, actionable tasks, I guess you could call them, as far as our different standards. We have 10 standards here at Bold. Whatever those standards are for you, they set the tone of the company. They set the tone of how quickly you move. They set the tone of what is the highest priority for the company, right? Is it being transparent? Is it being able to move really quickly? Is it being really creative? Is it all of the above? What is it for you and your company? And then setting those standards, like we are this is a standard. Here's the actionable things that you have to take and do to hit those standards. And the reason that you have to have those actionable tasks to hit the standards is so that way you can follow up with employees or employees can follow up with themselves. Am I doing these things to hit this standard? That it's clear communication and you can set the bar and it's very clear on how you get to that bar. That's it. I mean, that's how you create performance, that's how you move quickly, and that's how you set really clear goals, standards, and outcomes for a business. It's kind of simple, but it works, and there's nothing wrong either with changing your standards or changing your tasks to reach those standards at any point in time, because the companies are always evolving. Bold is always evolving. So we've kind of re-energized and rechecked our standards, and we've set our new ones for 2016, and we'll recheck those for 2017. Thanks so much for watching episode 59. I really appreciate it. This is not tequila. This is tea. A little tea for Monday morning. Mondays are tea, Fridays are tequila. Anyway, thanks so much for watching and tuning into Out of Scope. I really, really appreciate it. And if you like this episode, please make sure to share, comment, and like, because the more engagement and the more information that I get out of the viewership, the better the show is going to get. And please, above all, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you.